Carlos Boozer. Knicks, Bulls, up next.
All eyes are on the Eastern Conference in this game as the Chicago Bulls play this one at home. Thank you for joining us. It's the NBA presented by 2K Sports. For this Thursday afternoon game. And now the New York Knicks starters. Stoudemire and Turioff in the middle. Then there's Chauncey Billups. Then it's Anthony. And for Chicago, Carlos Boozer and Joakim Noah. They're inside. Rose and Bang on the floor, and Bogans. You know, for these Bulls last season, Clark, they had some drama in the locker room, maybe people not seeing eye to eye in the front office and on the coaching staff.
Yeah, they certainly did. I would call it front office friction.
Yeah.
But yet, despite that, Kevin, good young talent. So whoever steps into that situation has something to work with.
Let's find out what Doris Burke has for us.
Thanks, Kevin. I briefly spoke with Tom Thibodeau. I asked how they're planning to handle this dynamic offense, and his response was that they're going to concentrate their defensive attention on a few specific players. That'll leave it to someone else to step up and beat them, and he's not sure they've got the depth or the talent to do so, guys.
Thank you, Doris. Always have to have that game plan going up against prolific offensive teams.
Kevin, it's always something you're strategizing for, every game.
Getting back to what you were talking about, despite all the front office turmoil with Derrick Rose at the helm, the future does look bright for this Chicago team.
Well, not only Rose, I mean, you talk about Joakim Noah, you look at Luol Deng, he's in his prime, Taj Gibson, an impressive first-year player, so the Bulls have an awful lot of material to work with.
Here is Rose. He's guarded by Billups. Here's Boozer. Stolen away.
You got to have a vice grip on that ball in the low post. You got to really squeeze it.
Here is Turioff. Pass to Billups. Baseline jumper. Anthony's shot is off. Coach Mike D'Antoni played 5 seasons in the NBA in the mid-'70s, and then Clarkey embarked on what became a legendary career in Italy.
Well, here are some of those numbers. 12 seasons, 5 Italian League titles, 2 EuroLeague titles, and he was voted the Italian League's best point guard ever upon his retirement in 1990.
There was a young kid who admired him very much over there. You know who that was, don't you?
Fill me in.
Kobe Bryant.
Wow.
Yeah. He's covered by Deng. The open shot, Anthony. And it's Anthony again missing.
Shocking how wide open he was. Even more shocking that he couldn't sink it.
Carmelo Anthony grew up in the mean streets of Baltimore. He's certainly come a long way.
He really has, Kevin. I mean, he's seen a lot in his life. His father passed away when he was only 2 years old. And I think his maturation as a man has continued alongside his growth as a player.
Anthony against Noah. Second shot opportunity. Can't convert the layup.
No, sir. It ain't that easy, son. Especially with a top-notch defender breathing right down your neck.
The open shot, Anthony. Again, the miss by Anthony. Scoring has always come easy to Carmelo, but he's been working on the rest of his game, Clark, as well.
Yeah, and you know, it's easy for people to criticize his defense, but he actually has made an effort to get better, and that's all you can ask. A player making an effort to improve in his weak areas.
Here's Billups, following the score by Derrick Rose. And Stoudemire getting double-teamed. It's stolen by Rose. Kicks to Rose. And Billups picks him up defensively. And Boozer backs in. And a foul on the shot. He'll go to the stripe for 2. That one is on Stoudemire. Carlos Boozer, another one of those guys. You see, he went in the second round of the draft, and you ask yourself, how in the world did that happen?
Yeah, you do sometimes when you think back to that, but you know what? He looked like an undersized center in college, was hurt a little bit while there, so that explains perhaps why he ended up being a second-round draft choice.
Lonnie Brewer's checked in for Keith Bogans. He hits the second from the line. Here's Billups. Anthony up on top. He's covered by Deng. The shot by Anthony, no good. Boozer was drafted by the Cavaliers, and there was some controversy when he left to join the Jazz back in 2004.
Yeah, it was really an interesting situation there, Kevin. I mean, the Cavs kind of let him out of his contract thinking they had a verbal agreement in place.
You're right.
And then the Utah Jazz came up with a huge number, and it makes... Oh! Boy, he can produce some rim rattlers, Kevin. This guy can fly.
Well, the whole building, Clark, knows what's going to happen when he goes up. C.J. Watson, he's checked in for Derrick Rose. And he makes the free throw. Well, Carmelo Anthony, part of the 2008 U.S. Olympic team that brought home the gold medal.
Yeah, and they called them, Kevin, the Redeem Team because they brought back the gold after an 8-year run where the USA failed to come back on top.
And that one's good by Noah. Here is Billups. No points for him. Leads him in. It's blocked. Anthony. Fields. He's covered by Watson. Here's Stoudemire, and he lays that one up and in. Stoudemire's got his first points of the game. And Clark, Melo's game really seemed very well suited to the international game.
Well, he's got such a terrific jump shot, and you combine that with his strength and his quickness, he posed a real problem for those finesse big men that play internationally.
That's a good point.
The defense made the mistake of playing off him, and he drained it from deep.
And it's Stoudemire with the jam.
That's right, fella. Don't be afraid to power it down.
Yeah, Clark, a good capper at the end of that play. And that was our Sprite Slam Cam, bringing you the close-up on the big jam. Boozer a screen on Billups. Here's Deng, got a hand on it. Here's Watson, and 2 free throws coming up as he misses that one. Drawing the whistle and a lot of contact there. That one's on Anthony. First free throw is good. So for the Bulls, Ashik has checked in for Noah. Gibson comes in for Carlos Boozer. And it's Korver in for Luol Deng. And that's good as he hits both of his shots. Knicks trail by 4. Billups kicks to Stoudemire and stolen by Watson. Here's the break. Brewer, just 2 seconds between shot clock and game clock. Takes it up. Here's Gibson. The shot is off. Billups with the ball. Still looking to get on the scoreboard. Here's Stoudemire. Gibson rips it down inside.
When you settle for that kind of shot, that's a wasted possession. That is not a high percentage look.
First quarter over, and big numbers up on the board. Bulls lead by 4.
Well, their defense has been superb, Kevin. They're talking, working together, and really making it a challenge to score.
And it's more NBA action coming your way here on 2K Sports. And it's been a tight game as the second quarter gets going. Here's Billups. And New York looking at who they've got. Stoudemire and Turioff in the middle. Then it's Anthony. Then there's Chauncey Billups. Tom Thibodeau is the new head coach of the Chicago Bulls. He's been an NBA assistant, Clark, for the last 2 decades.
And he's been considered a defensive mastermind, and you see how the Celtics have played defense under his leadership, and you can't argue with that.
That is breaking coaching under Bill Musselman with the expansion Timberwolves back in '89. Billups against Rose. Carmelo Anthony comes up with the rebound. Knicks trail by 4. Williams passes to Billups. Fields. He's covered by Deng. And it's Anthony with the jam.
That's really a terrific look inside. Set him up beautifully.
Looking at these Knicks, they added some talent via free agency, but Clark, will it be enough to make them a big-time contender in the Eastern Conference?
Kevin, only time will tell. We'll just have to wait and see. You know, talent on paper doesn't necessarily equate to production on the court.
Let's go to our great sideline reporter, Doris Burke, for an update. Doris?
Well, guys, Carlos Boozer and the Chicago Bulls, you talk about a hand-in-glove fit. The Bulls had been in need of low-post scoring threat for years, and that's Boozer's specialty. Adding his bulk and rebounding alongside the length and activity of Joakim Noah has given this team an imposing front line. Boozer said, "This is a perfect fit. This is the place I wanted to come to first, and I'm happy to be here." Guys, the fans are happy as well.
Yes, some key acquisitions and reason for optimism in Chicago. Thanks, Doris. And Clark, the Knicks had to give away talent to free up the cap space they ended up using this offseason.
Yeah, they had to, and they had to make some tough choices in that regard, Kevin. I mean, they've definitely improved themselves, but the question is, and the question remains, by how much?
So for the Bulls, Joakim Noah, he's checked in for a Sheik. Boozer comes in for Luol Deng. And it's Bogan's in for Kyle Korver. Tipped. The Knicks with the turnover. New York trailing. Outside Anthony. And the one-handed jam to finish.
This is what happens when the defense lags. Wrong guy to give an opening to.
Here comes Derrick Rose. He has 6. And 2 free throws coming up as the whistle blows. He barely missed that one. It's going to be on Chauncey Billups. Derrick Rose, born and raised in Southside Chicago. He learned the game from his 3 older brothers and in a very successful amateur career.
Boy, he sure did, Kevin. How about he won 2 state championships in high school, played collegiately for the University of Memphis, and in the only year he was there, they got to the NCAA championship game. And he was a primetime performer during that whole run that season.
Chicago leading. All alone. Rips down the breakaway slam.
Good execution on the break leads to the nice bucket.
And the Knicks decide to take their first time out here. Luol Deng is checked in for the Bulls. Korver comes in for Keith Bogans. Tony Douglas is checked in for the Knicks. Here is Billups, looking for his first bucket of the game. Stoudemire backing him down. Jacks up a 3, and Anthony with the basket on the assist by Stoudemire.
Kevin, that's just not good defense. You can't be giving players of his talent level looks like that. Come on now.
Rose against Billups. From deep. And again, it's the Bulls from deep.
Well, he's really been big for their team, finding a way to consistently get it done on the scoreboard.
24 home wins for the Chicago Bulls last year, Clark. About what you'd expect from them.
Yeah, I was not surprised. That's a reasonable expectation for the Bulls. But if they want to make the leap to being a top seed in the East, they'll need to up that this year and be a truly unstoppable team at home, which means somewhere in that mid-30s range. He's had some problems finding the range here in this quarter.
Here's Anthony. The shot, no good. Now Chicago takes it the other way. Rose passes to Deng. Pass to Boozer. Covered by Anthony. Tosses it up. Boozer, no good.
That's not something you'll see very often. Got the mid-range jumper he wanted, but off target.
Here's Billups. Connects from in close. Billups has got his first points in this one.
Get back into this game, a couple of things. One, they're going to have to value every possession, and then they've got to make sure they get good shots. They've done a great job here in the second, but let's see if they can continue it. The refs don't always catch those moving screens, but I think they did that time. The screener was not set in time, and that's an offensive foul.
Chicago making some changes. Taj Gibson's checked in for Boozer, and it's Bogan's in for Luol Deng.
They switched to a 2-3 zone. The goal is to protect the middle.
Anthony backing him down. Anthony drawing the double team. From downtown. Kept alive. Shoots over Bogans. Here's Stoudemire, and it's tied up. Stoudemire's got 6.
Nice. Big momentum builders, those second chance points. If they want to go 2 for 1, they'll have to speed it up.
We've got a 9-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Phillips against Rose. Phillips hits the reach-in call. That's his 3rd foul of the game.
Already he's looking at his 3rd foul. I think the coach will probably look to sit him down until the 3rd quarter.
Here's Rose. 11 points in the game.
Boy, he flushes it with such strength, Kevin.
Yeah, how about that one, Clark? He continues to top himself.
Yeah, he's outdoing himself, isn't he?
Stoudemire kicks to Anthony. And lots of contact there. Missing the shot. He'll shoot 2. The first one falls. And making a change here, the Knicks. Both free throws good from Anthony. Here's Rose. Over Williams. And that's off as he tries to beat the buzzer. And so it's tied as we head to halftime.
Excellent game we've seen from Derrick Rose. He's got 13 points, and he's had a steal in there, too. That's dominance he's showing us.
From the United Center in Chicago, back in a moment.
It's Thursday, and thanks so much for popping into HP at the half. We've seen the Bulls slugging it out. They're stroking it from outside, hitting the 3 ball with ease. Derrick Rose not having much difficulty scoring against New York. He's got 13 points. He's shooting efficiently from both the floor and the free throw line. On the other side, the Knicks looking pretty solid as well. Close-range shots, their bread and butter early on, a gigantic lead in points in the paint. Their top scorer, Carmelo Anthony. He has 12 points, added 3 rebounds as well. Some great basketball in today's action from these two as they've led the way in scoring for their teams. And now we send you back to our crew of Kevin, Clark, and Doris. Hope to see you next time.
And as the quarter begins, both teams have been trading blows like prize fighters. A close ball game. Here is Mason. The Knicks came in 11th place in the Eastern Conference, Clark, a season ago, going 29-53.
And that record included 20-32 in the Eastern Conference. Coach D'Antoni, well respected around the league, but even in the East, he just didn't have enough firepower or defense to have a better record.
Rose and Dang on the floor. Carlos Boozer and Joakim Noah, they're inside. And Bogans. So that's the 5 in the game for Chicago.
That's exactly the way you practice it. Hit the open man for the great look.
Well, some new faces for the Knicks this season. Maybe they can turn things around.
Yeah, they'll have a chance. I mean, there's been a lot of changeover in the East, Kevin. Good teams kind of falling apart, and young teams starting to coagulate a little bit. Maybe the Knicks can join that second group.
Boozer, no good. They've trailed the entire game now. A chance to jump out ahead. And here is Anthony. He's got 14. Kept alive. Now Mason. Back to Williams for the lead. Chance there to take the lead. Missing. Outside Rose. Guarded by Mason. Stoudemire with the double team. And Boozer backs in. Williams picks him up. Clock at 4. And it's Chicago scoring again.
You've got to close out on that mid-range jump shot.
Outside Anthony. He's picked up by Dang. Anthony against Boozer.
Well, the bad shooting continues for them to start this half.
Chicago leading. Now Rose. He's got 13 over Stoudemire. And it's Rose missing. Tony Douglas, 6'1", his second season out of Florida State, and Clark taking Number 29 last season by the Knicks.
You know, and he really had a tough time finding minutes because of Nate Robinson being there. But once Nate was traded to the Celtics in the second half of the season, Douglas got an opportunity to play, and he responded quite well. I like this kid. He's strong, he's aggressive, he's got good ball skills, and knows how to put it in the basket. So keep an eye on him, Kevin.
Knocked loose.
When someone's being that careless and sloppy with the ball, they're begging for it to be taken.
Anthony, he's covered by Boozer. The open shot, Anthony knocks it down from 19 feet. Anthony's got 16 points. Outside Rose. And Boozer backs in. 4 on the shot clock. So for the Bulls, Gibson comes in for Carlos Boozer. And Ronnie Brewer's subbed in for Keith Bogans. Here's Rose. Off the inbound pass. And Williams pulls it down. Thinking about this Bulls team knocked out by Cleveland in round 1. Joakim Noah said he wanted the Cavs, but maybe bit off a little bit more than he could chew in that statement.
Well, you know what? It wasn't for lack of effort on his part. I thought he produced at a high level. The Bulls just need to mature a little bit and add an inside scoring presence to be able to challenge the Cavs.
Dang with the bucket. Here is Mason. 1:20 left in the third. The shot misses, so the Bulls will take it the other way. Thinking back to that Bulls-Cleveland series, I will say those games were close. It wasn't a runaway.
No, I thought it was a competitive series. I think every time two teams that know each other really well meet in the playoffs, even if the series doesn't go a long way, it's still competitive.
Williams dishes to Anthony. Great finish in traffic. Anthony's got 18 points in the game.
Well, he's their top scorer, but the defense has forced him into a tough shooting game. He'll have to shoot better for them to win.
Mason against Rose. Here's Gibson. Stoudemire grabs the board.
No defense there to bother the shot, and he still misfired. His coach does not look happy.
Anthony missing again. And here we go with Derrick Rose. 13 points in the game. Guarded by Mason. And finished off by Rose.
He just toasted the defender and then applied the jam. Gave the D a mouthful on that one.
New York calls timeout. So both teams changing it up here. Here's Billups.
Here, they'll want to hold for one shot.
And that's good on the layup. Billups has got his second basket of the game. Here is Watson. A 2-point game. And here's Korver from the arc. No good.
Boy, they've really been scrapping for rebounds in this one. Neither club really dominating the other one.
Well, it's been an exciting game as we finish the third. A fantastic game from Derrick Rose in this one.
Yeah, not flashy numbers, but his presence has definitely been felt out there. It's the little things, Kevin. He's getting them done.
We'll see you in just a moment, live here from Chicago. Fourth quarter getting going here. It's time for our Sprite Spark of the Game report. Let's go to Doris Burke.
Thanks, Kevin, and you might have guessed. Derrick Rose is our Sprite Spark. He is responsible for creating the majority of this team's offense, and he's done a great job of generating assists here through the first 3 quarters. Can he continue to dish it out in the fourth, guys?
Thank you, Doris. You know, Clark, give me your thoughts, igniting his team much of the way.
Well, just a man on a mission, Kevin. His goal is not to let his team lose if he can help it.
On the court for the Knicks, Stoudemire and Turioff in the middle. Then there's Chauncey Billups. Then it's Anthony. Here's Watson. Buries the step-back jumper. Here is Billups. Outside Anthony. Oh! Up high and down hard.
Uh-oh. A little bit of a statement made there while he hung on the rim.
That's one way to make sure the whole building knows exactly what you just did. He's picked up by Dang. Anthony against Dang. Stoudemire outside. To tie it up. Can't tie it up as that one misses.
He's been AWOL this quarter. When his team is down and in need of some scoring from him, he hasn't shown up.
Stripped it away.
Again, another turnover for him. He needs to do a better job of knowing where the defense is.
Here's Anthony to tie it up. And that's good. Laying it in. Anthony's got 22. Here is Watson. A Sheik with it. He's against Turioff. Deflects the pass.
And Kev, that's only his first giveaway for the game.
Here is Watson. Just over 3 minutes left to the fourth. The dump off. Then kicks to Sheik. Here's Watson. It's in for three.
Right now, he's just too good, Kevin. Way too good. They need to bring a second defender and try to make him give up the ball.
Here's Fields. The basket good off the assist from Billups.
That's a good look. Very nice look.
Chicago trailing here. Here is Watson. A Sheik backs in. Fires top of the key. Another one falls for Chicago.
He's a streaky shooter, but when he gets it going, he can put points on the board in a real hurry.
Stoudemire the pass to Billups. Open look. And Stoudemire with the basket on the assist by Billups.
Kev, both teams have ramped it up here in the second half.
Here is Watson, who's guarded by Billups. And here is a Sheik. Gibson with it, working on Stoudemire. And so here is New York. They lead by one.
They need to make the most of every possession. And desperation threes like that simply won't get it done.
And here's Watson. Gibson the screen. Here's Dang. And that one's good.
Nice bucket there. He isn't naturally quick, but he's deceptive. He kept the defense off balance and then took it to the rack.
Billups dishes to Anthony.
Great vision on display there. The pass led him perfectly to the basket. That's how you do it.
And some changes for Chicago. Joakim Noah, he's checked in for a Sheik. Boozer comes in for Taj Gibson. And Derrick Rose is subbed in for C.J. Watson.
Melo having a terrific game. 25 points, and he's also been solid at the foul line. 4 points for him from there. He's rolling, trying to put them on his back right here.
Chicago calls timeout. They're losing by 2. 1:26 left in the game. Let's catch up with Doris from the sideline.
Well, guys, Tom Thibodeau had some advice for his team in that last timeout. He was looking to motivate them, saying, these are the games that you can win. If you hustle a bit harder than them, we can do it. Every loose ball is ours. Go out there and take it from them. Let's see how much hustle they have in them, guys.
He's had an off game thus far, but his team has been able to pick up the slack and find a way to get it done here.
Rose against Billups. Here's Turioff. Hoop plus the hard. He would not be denied, and he'll have a chance to make it a three-point play. They get Lou all down. Can't get the and one, but they still have a 1-point lead. Chicago with the ball. They trail by 1. Rose against Billups. And here's Korver from the arc. No luck. And New York takes it the other way. And they can try to eat some time off the clock here. Outside Anthony. Boozer picks him up. Anthony kicks to Billups. Rose with the rebound. And it's the Bulls with the ball. It's a one-point game. He's guarded by Billups. Billups against Rose. Just 4 to shoot. Over Billups. Rose, no good.
Well, you've got to close out on shooters with a hand up, but he went a little overboard there.
Sinks the first of 3, and that'll put him up by 2. Makes number 2, and it's a 3-point ball game. Makes all 3, and that gives him a 4-point cushion.
And that'll do it, Kevin. Those last free throws were the icing on the cake.
Time called here. The Bulls decide to talk it over. They're down by 4. 2 seconds left to the 4th. Clark, what's your take?
They need some help right now. Quick shot, then a real quick foul. Tough to make up the difference at this point.
So a close game sees New York take this one. Well, they don't get much more exciting than that, Clark.
They sure don't. And when it was gut check time, this team kept their composure, kept their emotions in check, and got it done.
Thank you for joining us for this presentation of the NBA on 2K Sports. For Clark and Doris and the rest of the crew, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Last but not least, here is your Jordan Brand Player of the Game, Carmelo Anthony.